and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you, and for this one I was inspired by like a container home. So what I ended up doing was putting like in my mind would kind of be like two containers next to each other with like a walkway between them, and like the whole thing is like one house. And so like one of the rectangles has like the bathroom, the bedroom, and the other one has like the common spaces like the living room, the dining space, and the kitchen. And then the in-between space is a nice walkway with like I ended up using the island living like roof window things. I don't even know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about? And like put them on top. So it is a covered area for your Sims, but they're still going to get a lot of sunlight there. And I end up putting like a lot of gardening stuff there. And we do have like even like a really small backyard, but I honestly love the way this turned out. And this was just kind of like a fun random build for me to work on. I'm not sure why I decided to do this, but I don't know. I was just kind of feeling like container homes, and then this just kind of happened. And I ended up using the Desert Luxe like tilted windows on the ends because I thought they were so pretty, and I figured that would actually add a little bit of extra space in these because they're not like huge, but I feel like it just gives that illusion of it being just a little bit larger. And this does have room for two Sims, so you do have like a larger bed and you can like get to both sides and all that good stuff. And actually the bathroom is super large and luxurious, although I did not include a shower. I just put in like one of those corner tubs, which I couldn't help it. If I have a big bathroom, like I gotta use that bathtub. Do you know what I mean? But anyways, I'm like totally talking over like the like outside of it, but I'm just so excited about the inside. I'm just like talking about whatever. But anyways, we're inside and we're using the new tile on the floor, at least from the Growing Together kit, and then the I believe that's Jungle Adventure like wall tile, which I thought was just so pretty and kind of set the color tone for the rest of the build. Since we already had a lot of those really nice like rich brown neutral colors, I kind of pulled off of that a little bit and then added in that like burnt orange and blue, and we actually bring that into the rest of the home as well with a little bit of red too. I figured kind of playing off that burnt orange like red would work really well there too. And we ended up actually having that lovely giant window in the kitchen area, which I love so much, and we end up putting the sink there, so like I'm imagining you're like doing dishes and you can actually see out like the backyard, which I thought was just so fun. And I do actually end up putting a dishwasher in here, which is kind of shocking. I think I just mentioned it in one of my voiceovers that it's one of the items I just never think about. And so since I am building this the same day I did that voiceover, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put in a dishwasher. And actually, given the size of the house, this is actually a really nice size kitchen, to be honest. And in this living space, I end up using the like, oh my goodness, the Dream Home Decorator. That's what I was looking for. I was like the interior designer, but it's the Dream Home Decorator, the pack that came with the interior designer like career. We ended up using that like kind of sectional sofa, and I think that worked out really well. And I will say, so I did play test this, and it is up on the Sims 4 gallery if you would like to download it and play with it and change it however you want to. It's under my ID Spice and Sprinkles, all one word and all lowercase, and down in the description if you want to see it written out. What I will say is I didn't realize that that like lounge piece, you actually, your sim gets on it from the end. So what I end up doing is I had to swap the plant and the bookcase. So what you're going to download and what you'll see in screenshots will actually be swapped around, but basically it's the exact same thing. So I'm glad I checked and made sure it worked, because I totally forgot that that is actually how your Sims use that space. And of course we had a fruit bowl on here, and honestly the fruit bowl I feel looks really nice. I think it's all those really pretty like orange and yellow tones there, and then we include like a plant over in the corner. But I wanted to actually have a nice dedicated like eating area in here, although like you could have put it outside as well, and I do have an eating area outside, but I just thought it'd be really nice to have one like inside, even though that middle space is actually like covered and usable just like any other space. And so we're just going to add a little bit of clutter here in the kitchen, and it's just like a really spacious kitchen, to be honest. And I kept like second guessing whether maybe it was like too big, and I thought, you know what, like that's like a selling point for a home, you know, like having a really nice big kitchen, like that's that's a big deal. You know what I mean? At least for me. Like when I was looking for houses, I was like, ooh, this is honestly, like we walked into the house that I own right now and I was like, this kitchen, I'm sold. Like this is amazing, beautiful. Like I want to cook and bake here. And so I was like, I think we're done. I think we can just go ahead and pack it up and I'll take it. But anyways, so just adding some lighting around in here. And like I said, we end up using a huge bathroom here. You can see the larger portion is going to be the bedroom and the smaller portion is going to be the bathroom. Now, the only kind of like, I guess, realistic downside is that if like you had like guests over, they would have to go through the bedroom to get to the bathroom. But you know what? It's The Sims and they don't have to worry about it. Like I had an apartment like that and it kind of bugged me, to be honest. Like if I had company like come over, then I had to like make sure my bedroom was clean because they had to go through it to get to my bathroom, you know, that whole thing. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's The Sims. It doesn't actually matter. So I kind of just did it that way because I honestly didn't want to have like two different doors to those spaces, which I was thinking about doing. I kind of just liked that double door look, and I figured it didn't like break up that wall as much in terms of putting stuff like in between those two buildings. Like I had some more options there. And then just so adding in a little bit of art and some plants in here just to make it feel really cozy. And that trunk there is from the werewolf pack and it does act as a dresser. So in case you didn't know that, that is the dresser for this space. And of course I included the Jungle Adventure mirror because I could not help myself. I use it all the time, I know, but it's beautiful and I love it. I wish we had more leaning mirrors like that, like really nice big leaning mirrors that you could use more often. Like I feel like we have ones that hang on the wall, that kind of thing, but I don't know, I'm a really big fan of like those like leaning mirrors. I have like two in my house actually. Like I went and hunted one down actually for my mom's like guest room that we have here, and I have one in like my own bedroom. I just love them so much. But anyways, like I'm talking about my own house and not like the house that I'm building. But this is actually going to be the really spacious bathroom. Like I said, you could easily swap out this for a regular tub and a shower, but I just kind of left it really big and it just kind of felt like luxurious this way. And so just adding in here a bunch of clutter because I couldn't help myself. I didn't put a ton. I did not put a ton of clutter, but I put that stuff on the shelf, and then I do end up using that like 3-drawer organizer that we got with the clutter kit, the bathroom clutter kit. I end up putting that on the counter as well to take up some of that space. I figured they had a lot of storage in there, and I did include like a little chair in here. I know, I don't know, is that weird? Like, I feel like that's just like if I was gonna have a bench or something in a bathroom, I wouldn't necessarily have a blanket on it and it wouldn't be like fabric. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's The Sims and it doesn't matter. And I just thought it was kind of cute, so I used it. But anyways, I end up just adding in a rug there in front of the sinks. And then actually we end up doing the backyard first. And I'm not going to lie, I did a lot of experimenting with what I wanted to do with the fence. Like, I don't know why it took me so long. I guess I was trying to do something kind of new and interesting with it, but I just ended up like I ended up not doing what I thought I was going to do and ended up using just a regular fence. I really liked that one I just had. However, it's just so tall. I just don't find very often to use it because I feel like it just blocks it off so much, if that makes sense, and just makes it feel really closed in, especially since this is a really small backyard space. And you can see I tried to do like a weird fence thing with half walls, and like I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. Like, I think if I had a different foundation that would have worked, I would have used that, but nothing like fit quite right. So I end up just taking it out and using a fence that matches the railing on the stairs. Like probably what I should have done from the very beginning, but we got there eventually. And I do end up putting like a small pool in here because I just felt like that would be so lovely to have back here. And then I included these little dedicated spaces for some plants, and I ended up using like kind of like desert-y plants and actually using like sand in those spaces because I don't know why, it just spoke to me. Like I just felt like, and you know, this wasn't built like in the desert, it was built in Evergreen Harbor, but I don't know. So it feels maybe a little out of place for this particular lot, if that is something that, you know, you pay attention to. However, I don't know, that's just what I wanted to do, so I did it. But I end up actually just adding in a little bit of stuff back here. I do actually end up adding a yoga mat back here, and I can't remember if I added anything else. I think it might just be the yoga mat. So your Sims have something that they can do. And like I mentioned earlier, we do add some gardening stuff in, like in between the two buildings. So your Sims can also do that as well. Because I do try to include some nice skill building items. And I did not include a computer in this build, but I figured you could easily add one to that like dining space or like any of those like table spaces that you have if you would like to use one. And so yeah, we just ended up adding a few more things in here, and I kind of use the same little planter box kind of idea out here. I guess really it's not a planter box, it's just an area that has been like like squared off just to where you put plants. I don't know. Like it's not actually a box. It's just in a designated area for plants. So we just add some of that and a few rocks in here as well. And I did go back and forth about trying to put maybe some trees in the front yard, but I opted not to because nothing felt like it fit really well out there. So we just left it as is. And I ended up adding just like, I think it was like, yeah, 6 of those like little planter. I was about to call it a planter bucket. Like that's not a thing, a like planting pot. Anyways, you know what I mean, those things. And some of the decor from the greenhouse haven kit, and I put some aprons on the wall. Like maybe they wear that when they're gardening, and then just adding a few finishing touches out here to just make it feel like really homey and just, I don't know, I think it just looks really nice out here. And then we add a few window boxes to add a little more personality to this space, and just adding a few lights to make sure everything is well lit. And I honestly went back and forth about which lights I wanted to use, but I think those actually look really cute in the end. And I do end up putting some solar panels on the roof, so that would be really nice too for your electric bills. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.